help us land a little bit, I just wanted to offer this practice that I learned many years ago. It's called Doin. It's from Japan, and it's like a tapping practice. Just go back a little bit so that you can see me in full. It's a very simple practice, and it can be really useful to sort of move from one space to the other. It's like from whatever you did before into the space. So if you just want to, I usually do it with my knuckles here, just gently. And then we can start tapping over the midline of the head. So basically it's like we will tap just different meridians, energy lines in the body, all over the body. So you can go over the sides of the body, behind the ears, coming forward to the forehead, to the eyebrows. Just tap gently, of course, be kind to yourself. And keep breathing. Usually I say just feel your feet as well, really stand well on the ground and be really grounded. And then you can use your fingertips for the face and just tap gently over the forehead. Keep breathing. Get the sense, and then to the sides of the face, and then over the jaws, and just gently, maybe the nose a little bit. Keep breathing and keep the sense of the grounding through the feet. And then use your hands, palms of the hands, to gently stroke down the throat a few times. And then you can just clasp your neck and squeeze your neck a few times. Maybe close to the occipital ridge, because that can be just quite nice. And then it's back to the fingertips and just go over your breastbone, chest. If you feel like it, you can make a sound like ah, feeling the vibrations. And then just take the left hand, can hold it with your elbow, you can hold the elbow with the left hand, and right hand just tap left shoulder. That can be as big as you like, because if you feel you're quite tight there, then you can just go over a few times. And again, keep breathing and feet on the ground. And then just continue down the arm on the outside. Down is on the outside, then into the palm, and then maybe a bit gentler up on the inside. Just again a few times. Breathing, feet on the ground. And then across over to the other side. And I was inside. And then the other side. Breathing. Over to the back and to the front, wherever you feel your tension. And then down the outside of the right arm and up inside. And then just down the chest and onto the belly. And if you just rub your belly just up on the right side and across and down on the left and across. Relax your belly. Breathe. And let it slowly take you to the inside of your body. The awareness slowly go to the inside. And then loose fists again. And it's very important, I just turn around. If you go over your kidneys, but gently. It has to be quite gentle. but our kidneys often get quite tired and need a bit of nourishment. So it can be the tapping, but it can actually also be the rubbing. That might be more appropriate. And then very important, because the buttocks often can get really tight. So I use my fists for that. Let's find a way that works for you. All over the buttocks. Keep the chest open if you can. And keep breathing. And then down the outside of the legs and up on the inside. 3 times. Breathing. Maybe out when you go down and up when you come in, when you come up. And then and actually just go onto your toes and back. And then for a little bit of movement in the ankle joints, just if you move your feet from the inside to the outside and just let the legs just move. So that was the Darwin that hopefully brought us over here and maybe a bit more into the body. And then Saraswati will take over again.
Thank you. Thank you, Uta. That definitely supported me in coming into my body. Thank you. Needed that. Okay, so I'd like to invite you to just sit in any comfortable position. I'm sitting on a chair just so you can see me, but you can sit on the floor, whatever feels right. And wherever you land, just take a moment to feel your feet on the ground and to feel your seat, you know, the sitting bones and the weight of the pelvis. And just give yourself a moment to land down towards the earth a little bit. And then I'd like to invite you to bring your right hand onto your belly and your left hand onto your heart center, in the center of your chest. You can have your eyes open or closed, whatever is comfortable for you. And just take a settling breath. Maybe feeling the breath coming in through the nostrils and out through the mouth a few times. If you feel the need to yawn or sigh, allow that to happen. And as you slowly begin to settle into awareness of your breath, also feeling the touch of your hands on your body, how your hands are holding you with great respect and love. So you're holding yourself, holding space for yourself. And opening the space of awareness to your breath. The sound of your breath and the sensation of your breath, just as it is. It doesn't have to do anything special. Just offering a little bit of space. And then when you feel that something has shifted, or perhaps a sense of beginning to settle a little more in your own time, you could bring your right hand up to cover your left hand at the heart. So now both hands may be resting on the heart. If it still needs to rest on your belly, then please honor that fully. And as you breathe in now, maybe inviting the awareness of that breath to flow up to the heart, as if you are encouraging a sort of sense of blossoming or opening, or just inviting space with that in-breath to the heart. And as you breathe out, perhaps again bringing the awareness down the body to where you're seated on the ground, or maybe your feet are on the earth. And as you inhale, bringing that awareness up to the heart, letting the heart maybe even lift a little bit. So it's that nice sense of openness and receiving, and as you exhale again, that sense of knowing that you're on the earth. And maybe just inviting that awareness for a few more breaths, breathing in, bringing that awareness up to blossom at the heart, and breathing out, and feeling yourself present and settled a little more on the earth. And when we were tuning into this session and what we wanted to offer, one of the words that arrived was space. Arriving into the heart space, but also just offering space to ourselves as a self-care practice. That if there's space, then we can begin to feel what's really going on. And if there isn't space, it's very hard for us to access our deeper feelings and be present to ourselves. So maybe one of the first things that we can offer ourselves is space, and space to simply feel and hear and listen and see and taste. And when you're ready, you could bring your hands to form like a little bud at the heart. We're going to take this breath into a mudra practice. And it's a beautiful practice called the mothering lotus mudra. And in my experience, it brings a lot of spaciousness and strength to the heart so that we can be a little more present with our heart and a little less in our heads. So we start with the hands in a bud at the heart, so a little space between the palms, so they're not like pressed together, they're kind of open. And when you're ready, taking a breath in, imagine that you're breathing into your hands. And then as you exhale, you, excuse me, you open your hands like you're opening a book. And you continue until the backs of the hands come together and the fingers point in towards the heart, and then down, and then away. So you reach the hands out in front of you. And then when the hands are out in front of you, you breathe in again. And then as you exhale, you reverse that. So you return, the hands point down and in towards the heart. And then they come back. But instead of being a closed bud now, they form an open lotus, an open flower, with the little fingers touching and the thumbs touching. And then when you're ready to inhale, those petals close into the bud. And you breathe into that bud. And as you exhale, the hands open into that book, point in and down and far away. And then you breathe in here and bringing that beautiful strength into the heart space. And that nourishment that flows with the breath. And then as you exhale, you reverse, you return. Fingers point in, and then you come back to that book of the heart, and then the lotus flower. And then inhaling into your little bud. Exhaling, opening the hands, turning them to the backs of the hands, come together, fingers point in and down and away. Inhaling when the hands are away. Exhaling, returning to the lotus of the heart. And now just find a little flow with that in your own rhythm of your own breath. And we'll just do it a few more times together, but moving in your own pace, listening to the breath. If you find yourself getting a little lost or confused, just come back to your feet on the ground and the sound of your breath and let that be your anchor. And then we're just going to maybe do that maybe 3 more times. And what we can do is start to add some sound. So as you exhale, so when you're doing the moving part of the mudra practice, you could sound the seed syllable, the seed mantra, yam. So yam is for this, it's for the heart center. And you could think, I sometimes think of the word yum, like yummy, 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 like this is the yummy place, it's our heart. So you could think of yum or yam. So you inhale, and as you exhale, you just sound yum. 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 Let's maybe just do it one more time together. Yum. Yum. And as you arrive back at the heart, just coming back to that little bud. And then perhaps when you feel ready to, placing your hands over your heart again, like 2 wings holding the heart space. And just maybe eyes closed or maybe the gaze softened, and offer yourself a little bit of space. And imagine that all of your senses, your eyes, your ears, sense of touch, taste and smell, everything is focused down and in towards the heart space, as if you were listening. So that mind that gets so caught in the stories can just have a break, come down into the heart. And sometimes it helps to even bow the head a little bit towards the heart space. And in the Vedas, they say that the heart space, this sacred space, is as small as the teeniest, tiniest seed and as vast as the infinite sky. So small and sacred and precious, and yet vast and free and limitless. And then as you rest at the heart, maybe just asking yourself a question, or asking your body a question, which is, where is it in my body that I need to tend to in this moment? Is there somewhere where my hands instinctively want to go to hold my body? And if that arises, just let your hands go wherever it is. Maybe it's somewhere that feels tender or painful, or maybe it's somewhere that feels agitated, or maybe it feels peaceful. But just where is my body asking for a little bit of loving attention, and just place your hands there. And then when you feel that that's complete, maybe just bring that hand, left hand back to the heart, right hand to the belly where we started. Acknowledge yourself, all you are. I'm going to pass you back to Uta. She's going to guide you in some movement and yeah, just to stay with the spaciousness within your own heart, mind, body. Okay.
Thank you, Saraswati. That really settled me, helped really settling, because I have to say I'm a little bit nervous doing that because never done it before like this. So I just like to guide you through a bit of like asana practice, but it's very much staying where Saraswati maybe helped you to go. It's like a very inner space. So it's not about very advanced yoga postures. So it's more like, how can you just really stay deep in your body and just feel? It's a lot about feeling connections that move through the body, and keep that feeling while we're trying out a few asanas. So it's very much about the quality of what you feel inside. And also, I thought it's really good to keep the idea of space. So hopefully moving like this will help to maybe open up joints a bit, open up space in the body, so that energy can flow again, and that we might or might not get a sense of togetherness and depth in the body. That's what I love about yoga practice. It's not about crazy shapes. It's more like, can be strong work, but it's because you stay deep in your body. Breathe in the way that feels good to you, but just make sure that you're always breathing. And then for me, it's very much to find the feet first. So if we come into the feet first, into the earth, the contact with the earth, it's like getting a sense of gravity holding us down, so you can move from the balls of your feet to the heels. It's okay if that's kind of it, well, everything is okay anyway. But if you wobble a bit, lose your balance, that's totally fine. Just come back to a safe place. And then just see, can you roll out to the outer edges of your feet? And maybe get a sense of the grounding. Let your weight sink down through the outer edges of your feet. And then maybe you get a sense of, if you sense down into the earth, there might be another quality that comes up. So it's gravity, and then levity bounces you back. So from the outer edges of the feet to the inner edges of the feet, outer edges and the inner, and then onto the balls of your feet again, And gently down onto the heels. Can you just spread the toes from the little toe really wants to anchor into the ground. If that works for you, and the big toe anchors too, and then there might be space in between the two. So see, can you feel the sense of space from one side of the foot to the other? And then let the heels gently find the contact with the ground without pushing your weight into it, if that's possible. And then sense through your knees, spacious knees. You can always put your hands on the knees. Just rub a bit. My left knee is a bit sore, so that actually likes the touch. Maybe you have something like that too. And even you can even just do that with your fingertips on either side of the kneecap. That can just move a bit of stuck energy in the knees if you have them. And then follow your legs up into the hip joints. And there we can get a bit yummy again. There's a connection between the heart and the pelvis, I think, anyway. So if you let the yumminess from your heart drop into the pelvis and just see, can you find a circle like backwards to the side, to one small, like really small. And maybe you can feel it in the hip joints. That the hip joints really move. So it's not so much just the legs. So you just can, if that feels okay, come into your hip joints. And that can be really slow. I think it's a lot easier to feel if it's a slow movement. And then still keep connected to the feet and to the ground. And then just let yourself grow. So you grow down into the earth, and then the spine begins to grow up. And see, maybe you can get a sense of the shoulder blades freeing a bit. Shoulder blades going up and down like elevators. Elevators, isn't it? Yeah, like up and down anyway. Down to the hips. Apparently the shoulder blades really want to be with the hips. And then anatomically. And then let the arms lengthen, but just make sure that they keep soft, like don't overstretch. Lengthen them rather than stretching. Elbows can be a bit bent, and then get a sense of the wrists. Can you see that on the screen here? So the wrists want to be a bit free. And the palms of the hands like facing each other, and the fingers growing out of the center of the palm. So that can all be quite yummy. Sense of connection between your feet into the ground, through the spine, up into the hands in the sky. You suspend that. And then see, can you actually take a few breaths into your lungs. And maybe remember the lungs are in the back of the body as well. So with the breath, you can find space in your lungs. And on the next out breath, slowly, let's come into a forward bend. You can have the arms back as well and rest the hands on the pelvis if it can be a bit heavy if the arms are stretched out. So just slowly, wherever you can go, can put your lower arms below the knees or above the knees. Hands, of course, don't have to reach the floor at all. If you reach the floor, then you can just place the hands on the earth and just have good contact with the little finger and the thumb and the fingertips. And then let the neck
Go long. So the feet are releasing into the ground, into the earth. And the back of the legs might feel as if they're getting longer into the hips. And then they're welcomed by wide open hips. And maybe an in-breath. And an out-breath. And on the next in-breath, we could start the movement back up.
And then come back to your heart space. And then maybe let's do that same movement, and you can do it in your own, on your own pace. Let's see, can you just keep the connection into the feet? And always move the feet around so that they don't get stuck. Your long leg space in the hips, and the breath helps to open the lungs and the arms. Find the way up. You move the shoulder blades around, you can just really help loosening out the upper body and even freeing the neck a bit. And then when you're ready, you can start the journey back down.
When you're coming forward, you can also get a sense of your spine. From the tail all the way into the head. And send a few breaths into the spine. As if you want to inflate your spine. And then release it a bit. Like a breathing spine. And slowly in your own time. On the next in-breath maybe.
And come. And back to the heart. And then if you feel, just stay, even if we go to the next asana, stay inside your body. That's where you are. So the right foot can come forward, the left back a bit. And again, just find your feet. Find your roots into the earth, the length and the legs and the width and the hips. And the width and the lungs. And the arms rising up. And feel as if you hold a big ball. And then let the arms come down horizontally. And then turn just around the spine, maybe. Not too much, but just test it out. Like I like to keep the pelvis more forward and really feel into the spine. But the feet stay where they are and just make sure you're not falling in with the right knee. And then with a very long spine, let the right arm move towards the right leg or wherever you go. You can always put the hands onto your pelvis or onto the sacrum. And it doesn't matter where you go, but stay rooted through your feet, long legs and long spine and the breath. And slowly back up. Breathing, coming back. And change the feet. So the left one forward, the right one back. The right one might feel like your anchor. But it's really being balance between the 2 feet. Space in the pelvis, space in the lungs, space between the shoulder blades, space for the heart. And the arms raise up and then come down. And then find movement down towards the left leg. There's so many variations. Can be above the knee, below the knee. Because the most important thing really is that you want to feel grounded through the feet and spacious in the body. When you're in the shape, just you can feel like, where is that tension? Where can I let go a little bit? Where can I make space a bit more in the hips, in the ankles, anywhere. And then slowly on the next in-breath, come up and back, center. I have to find out about time. Oh, thank you very much. Saraswati, it's brilliant to do that together. So let's find a way, a gentle way onto the floor. So keeping the spaciousness. And I can see, can you bring the feet together? Moving around a bit. What's over, but again, there's so many variations. Whatever feels comfortable for you, you can always just stretch out the leg as well. Just bring in a sitting twist. So you want to sit down through whatever is on the ground. Spaciousness of your buttocks. See that there's a bit of space in the knees as well. And space in the upper body, lots of space. So again, you can have the arms out to the side, but see that you don't have the shoulders really high up. Maybe you can get a sense of the shoulder blades resting like wings onto your back. And then turn around the spine, the right hand somewhere on the left knee, and the left hand somewhere behind or beside you, and a very long spine. And lots of space for the shoulder blades and for the shoulder joints, and lots of space for the breath. And when you feel ready, you can turn forward again, and then over to the other side, and just, if you really stay in your spine, turn the spine around. You might feel a depth and a strength. And then keep the shoulder joints free. You can always move them around a bit. And the left hand somewhere on the left knee or thigh or lower leg. And the right arm behind somewhere or to the side, wherever feels comfortable. And a few breaths that might feel quite strong in the belly, maybe. But it can be nice if you keep the belly muscles not tight. And slowly on the out breath, coming back. And then from here, we can actually move into a bit of a loving kindness practice, which will be a loving kindness for ourselves. And then whatever we create, we can send that out. So for meditation, I think it's just really good if you find the most comfortable way of being. That might be lying down actually, and that's totally fine too. And you can stay sitting. Your hands, like, see that you find the most comfortable way of sitting. You can support yourself with like pillows or sit on one. That can actually be really nice, to sit on a pillow. And then, don't know about you, but I saw in many groups that I attended that sometimes it can be very hard to awkward also to send love to ourselves. Don't know whether that's the case for you. But just in case it is, just maybe let's tune into the love of the universe. I hope that works for you. Just the general love that I think is available all the time. If that works for you, you can get in touch with that, or you can just remember somebody who is very kind to you, that you feel loved by. That can be a pet as well. It can be anything. It's just to support ourselves, to tune into a source of love that you feel is nourishing you. It can be the image of golden light showering down on you and landing in your heart. Sense of being supported by love from a different source. I hope everybody found a source, and of course you can find the source within yourself as well. This is just a support. So for a few breaths, you breathe in a sense of love and support that is very freely given to you. And actually, if you don't feel anything like that, that's totally fine too. It's not a problem, it's just the way it is at the moment. You can just imagine the love that's being sent to you. But I'm pretty sure there's love being sent to everybody. So bathe in that sense of love and support. So a few breaths. There's, I forgot which teacher it was, but I heard it in a teaching of Pema Chodron. This teacher apparently said, there's love, the universe is love showering down on us all the time, but it's us who put up our umbrellas. I find that quite a nice image, so can always hold up the umbrellas. So there's, in the tradition of the loving kindness that I know, there are a few sentences, a few wishes. And the first one is for us. May I be happy. So a wish, maybe you are happy. Anyway, it's just the sense of having the sense of happiness that just bubbles up, that might be just totally independent of what's happening in life. It just bubbles up from the heart, sense of happiness. May I be happy. You can say that to yourself if that feels right. May I be happy. And then may I be well. May I be free of suffering. May I be free of pain. May I be free of worries. May I be well. And then may I be safe. May I live in a safe space. I have a sense of safety, at least every now and then. May I feel support. May I be feeling held. And then may I live with ease. May everything in my life come easily to me. May there be no obstacles. There might really feel like a wishful thinking. But we, as an act of loving kindness for ourselves, we can really wish that for ourselves and know that we can have that. And remember the love of the universe pouring down into us as a constant support that works for you. May I be happy. May I be well. May I be safe. May I live with ease. And if we gathered whatever energy we gathered, whatever support we gathered from that practice, let that be the source of wishing the same to others. May all beings everywhere be happy. You can say that in your own mind, you can say that to yourself. May all beings be happy. May all beings be well. May all beings be well. May all beings everywhere be safe. From our heart, the wish is going out into the world. May all beings everywhere live with ease. And then when it feels complete for you, you can bring the left hand to your heart space and rest the right on the left, or the other way around. And whatever spaciousness you have in your heart, let the seed of love that we refer to in Namaste just be there and maybe grow. May the beauty within myself see the beauty within you always. Namaste. Thank you very much, and we'll come back together. Thank you.
Thank you. Just to note, I was going to make a loud noise as I stopped the recording.